guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a confirmation makeup look for those of you young girls out there who are going to get confirmated this year. And first of all, I just want to say congratulations to you all. I know for a fact that it's a really big day to so many young people, and it is very beautiful and very heartfelt, and it's an amazing day and you want to look your best on that day as well. I remember my confirmation as one of the most amazing days in my entire life, and I know for a fact how important it is to feel beautiful both with your clothes, with your makeup, with your everything on that specific day. So I am going to help you today with a really nice makeup look, and furthermore I'm only going to use drugstore makeup today. You are only around 13-14 years old, so you may not have worn that much makeup yet. So I've stuck to some really nice drugstore makeup that is just as good as high-end makeup if you ask me. So hopefully it's going to be helpful for you also just to figure out what makeup to start out with. Let's get into it. In order to follow the big makeup trend for 2016, strobing, I'm going to use the Rimmel Insta Flawless Perfecting Radiant Skin Tint, and this is in the color 006 Light Medium. It's going to give me a really nice glow to my cheeks while still priming my face, so you can use this one either alone if you don't really have any imperfections and if you don't want to use too much makeup on your skin, but you can also use it underneath your foundation just to get that healthy glow from within. And that's what I'm gonna do today. And I feel like with these kinds of products, when they're kind of like primers, the fingers really just warms the product into the skin so nicely. Moving on to foundation, I feel like that the drugstore market has evolved so much when it comes to foundations. My personal favorite, or at least one of them, is the L'Oreal True Match foundation because it is super blendable. It really blends so nicely into the skin. It's got a medium coverage, I would say, but it is not unnatural looking on the skin, and that's what I really want. Also, the SPF level is only 17, so it's not too much, and I don't feel like this one flashes back when you're getting your photographs taken, so you won't look white in the face or anything like that. I'm using around 1 to 2 pumps around my face, and then I'm using the Real Techniques multitask brush just to work it into the skin. It really buffs it in and gives a very nice medium coverage. And I just go around in circular motions and really make sure to blend it into the skin. And this foundation is not dewy, but it's not mattifying either. I feel like that it gives a very natural finish on the skin. So I do feel like that most young girls will be able to use this one, unless you're really dry or really oily. So to conceal my under eye dark circles under my eyes, because I still want to look bright and fresh and awake on my special day, or on your special day once again, I am going to use the Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer. This is so beautiful and very lightweight in texture. Just using a tiny bit, also just down on the bridge of my nose just to highlight a tiny bit, and then I just like to use my finger just to blend it in, and you'll just see how it brightens up the entire under eye area. And then to set it under the eye so it won't go cakey during the day or wear off, I'm going to use the Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder. And I'm actually going to use this in my entire face. And this is in the shade 001 Transparent. So actually it doesn't have any color to it, it just sets the makeup. And a great tip to you guys who are oily, I would say use it in the entire face because it really sets your makeup down and make you matte 100%. But I would also say to those of you who've got a tiny bit more of a dry skin, like me for example, I'm only going to use it in my T-zone just to set my makeup. And I'm using my Real Techniques Duo Fiber Contour Brush because I can get all the way under my eyes like with this one. I'm not using too much. I don't want this look to be powdery in any way. I just want to set the makeup. For my brows, I'm going to keep them very light because I don't want to take away any attention from the actual other makeup or anything like that. I'm not going to go for that strong, heavy brow. I'm just going to fill them in and make them look a bit more naturally pretty and perfect. And I'm going to use the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper. This one is in the shade Light Medium. So I'm just brushing through the brow very gently. You can obviously just stop here and not do any more with the brows because as you can see they look really, really pretty and natural. I just want a tiny bit more out of the end, so I'm going to use the L'Oreal Brow Artist Genius Kit, which is also the light to medium one, and this is a kit where you've got a gel and a powder, and I'm just going to use the powder actually. And I'm only using it out there at the end, at the arch of the brow. Hopefully you can see that my brows, they look a tiny bit more sorted now, but still kind of natural, so it's still not too much brow. But now let's move on to the eyeshadow look. I just want to highlight my eyes and make them stand out, but not too much so it's like a crazy thing going on. I just want it to be very natural and to enhance my own natural beauty. And actually to prime my eyes, just as I prime my face, I'm going to use the Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer, and I'm just going to put one dot on my eyelid. And by just using some concealer on your eyelids, you're actually priming your eyes. So that will make sure that the eyeshadows that you put on top will just stick. And that will just make sure that the eyeshadows will stick to your eyelids and stay on for the entire day. And as you can see, it also evens out the skin tone of your eyelids. So if you don't have an eyelid primer, don't worry, you can just use a concealer. And to do my eyeshadow look, I'm going to do it a bit untraditionally because I'm going to be using a sculpting palette. This is totally brand new from Rimmel, and I think this is so amazing. Honestly, on the drugstore market, all of the other sculpting palettes that I've seen, they've just been a bit meh, but this one is so beautiful, some very nice shades actually, and it's also very, very pigmented actually. I really like the shades. This one is the one called Coral Glow, and it's beautiful. And firstly I'm going to use the sculpting powder, or the kind of brown shade right there in my crease, just to warm it up. And I'm using my Sigma Buff and Blend E39 for that. So I'm just putting it in my crease, very, very lightly. And I'm so excited for all you guys, and I just want to congratulate you. I know that it's a Christian tradition, so not everybody's getting confirmated. Even though I'm not really that religious, I just still remember that day to be so amazing, because to me it was all about family and all about celebrating some sort of a family tradition. So to me it wasn't really that religious, it was just about having an amazing day with my family and some of my friends as well. And yeah, as I said before in the beginning, it was one of the best days of my life, and I will never ever ever forget it. So I'm so excited for all of you guys who are going to get confirmated this year. You're gonna have a blast. My mom and my dad were like, this is one of your biggest days of your life. Remember, this is gonna be almost as big as your wedding day or something like that when you're getting your child, because it is one day all about you. Now that I've defined my eyes, I'm gonna use the lighter shade up there, the highlighting shade, and I'm gonna use that in the inner corners of my eyes because it's just gonna make my eyes pop, and you'll just see how that really just wakes up the eyes and perks up the eyes. And I feel like that this eyeshadow look is good for all eye colors, no matter if you've got brown eyes like me, or blue, or green, hazel, doesn't matter. And then really focusing it on the inner corner. So you get that kind of like inner corner highlight. On photos that just looks so beautiful, I swear. And then in the outer part, I'm gonna use the coral shade, the kind of blush shade. Use it out here in the outer corners and maybe blend it a tiny bit with the darker shade as well. And actually I'm gonna use those two colors also just underneath my eyes right there in the outer part. Make it all go together. And moving on to mascara, I feel like that you should just go for that mascara that really works for you. And I personally don't feel like that you should wear false eyelashes on your big day, because you still want to look fairly natural, if you ask me at least. It's obviously a preference thing, but I still want to look natural, and that's myself. At least that was what I did on my big days. Today I'm going to be using the Rimmel Volume Colorist Mascara with Lash Tint Complex, and this is in the shade Black. is the eyes done with mascara on. As you can see, very beautiful, very luminous, and still kinda natural. Let's move on to the rest of the makeup. I want to give my skin a healthy glow to my cheeks, so I'm actually going to use another one of the sculpting palettes from Rimmel. This one is one called Golden Sands, and this is, I think, the lightest one that you can get. But the reason why I like this one is because it's got a shimmery, sparkly bronzer, and normally I'm not really into that shimmery look, but right now, because it is around springtime now and that kind of glow to the skin is so freaking popular, this is such an amazing shade. Gonna take the middle shade and put it right there. Not too much, just a tiny bit, because it really warms up the face and gives a bit of dimension. I don't feel like that a contour look is the right look for a confirmation look, so I'm just gonna give a healthy glow to my cheeks and then also some blush and highlight. And I'm actually using it kind of like a bronzer and a blush in one right now. Also a tiny bit here on the temples. For the blush, I'm going to use that one because it's a very fresh blush, and I like that kind of look where you just look a bit more flush in the cheeks. I'm using a very light hand right now, and I'm using the blush brush from Real Techniques. And lastly, as I said before, I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to highlight with that shade right there. So right above the blush. And obviously you can highlight as much or as little as you want to. If you want a more intense highlight like me, use a little smaller, more dense brush. And if you want a bit more of just a nice glow, all over glow, and not too heavy of a highlight, use a bit more of a fluffy brush. Just a tiny bit on the cupid bow. And when talking about the cupid's bow, let's move on to some lipstick. I'm gonna be giving you two different lip options. Some of you may be used to wearing lipstick or something like that, but if you're not used to wearing lipstick, it can be a very heavy feeling on the lips. I would actually advise you to use a lip gloss. The one that I've chosen here is the NYX Mega Shine Lip Gloss in the color Sugar Pie. It's a really nice, kind of corally, very natural lip gloss. As you can see, it just gives a tiny bit extra to the lips without being too much. And once again, lip glosses in photos are really nice because they're very reflective. I do feel like there's some lip glosses out there, they're so gloopy and unnice in the texture, so they're very uncomfortable. Whereas this one and these from NYX, they're very light in texture. And once again, if you're not used to wearing lip glosses or lipsticks, these are amazing to start out with. As you can see, I just quickly removed the lip gloss from my lips because if you are used to wearing a tiny bit more on your lips and so on, I would actually advise you to go for a liquid lipstick, because if there's one downside to lipsticks or lip glosses, it is that they are not that long lasting, so you actually have to reapply them. So that's the only bad thing, and that's why I think that liquid lipsticks, they are so great. They're such a great invention, especially for like special occasion days, because they just stay on when you're drinking, eating, whatever. The one that I'm gonna advise you to use is the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the color Abu Dhabi, and this is so beautiful. It's kind of like a darker nude. So as you can see with that one on, there's a bit more attention to the lips, but still not too much if you ask me. As I said, this is definitely the look for that one who's a bit more experienced with your makeup and who's a bit more comfortable with wearing something on the lips, because you do feel this a tiny bit more if you ask me, but once again, it will be a bit more long wearing on you, so that's the great thing about it. And lastly, actually, I came up with an amazing idea. If you still want something that's a bit more shiny on the lips, you can put this one on first and then that one. Let's try to see how that looks actually. Oh, that is pretty. So here you can see the liquid lipstick and the lip gloss together. So So it's a bit more of a glossy finish, very fresh actually. I like that. So you actually get 3 different lip options actually. Use the liquid lipstick on its own or the lip gloss on its own or those two together, and then you get this. And all 3 ways are really, really beautiful, one way or another. It really depends on what kind of look you go for. So this is my take on a great confirmation makeup look, and I really think it's beautiful. And I just tried to stick to the makeup trend of 2016 with all of the nice glow. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that it was helpful for you guys. And if it was, please give my video a huge thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel as well, and also let me know in the comment section down below if you're gonna get confirmated this year. And as I said, please remember to enjoy every little single second of that day, because it goes by so freaking quickly. But thank you so very much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed it all, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!